Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drinking Beer and Play a Game. Welcome to another episode of the Power Hour Podcast.
Yes, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 321. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm happy to be here. I hope you are too. I know Brian's happy to be here right now.
Always happy, Jim. When is it not a good
Brian's
day?
a funny guy, full of his jokes. You know, the shit you come up with sometimes, I swear to God.
You gotta give me props. They're unique.
So go ahead, tell the people, tell the fine people.
So
So
Jim
we had
was
one of
over this.
We had one of our, hangouts.
Yeah, had a Halloween party / a birthday party for my wife on Saturday, a day after Halloween, and Jim's over, and we're sitting there with our good buddy Matt, who we've known since college. It's very easy to make Matt laugh, I will say, when it comes to Jim. He was probably one of the biggest fans and supporters of Blub Blub and other names. But we're talking, and I forget what you were doing exactly, but you were doing something that was annoying me. And I said, Jim, like, your mommy used to probably always just give you a spoonful of jelly and pat you on the ass to say, have a good day.
And I'm just sitting there going, what? And Matt just starts pees himself laughing. So that became the phrase for the rest of the night.
Because I forget what, I was obviously a little drunk at the moment, but I could just imagine you, little Jimmy Pants, like, every day's a good day. And you just got the little spoonful of jelly in your mouth, little pat on the ass, and go ahead, Jimmy, have a good day. Don't forget your jelly. And then just boop.
I got surprisingly less jelly than one would expect. It was normally granola bars, or for some reason, like, chicken pot pies. Like, that's what my mom was able to cook for me in the morning before fucking school, like, as a grade school kid. So,
But what you didn't deny is the pat on the ass. So,
There were no pats. There's no patting to be had. There's no jelly. There's no patting.
Listen, you block out a lot of things in life, Jim.
Can we go back to Blub Blub? If I kingdom for Blub Blub, I'd kill for Blub Blub.
Wasn't life easier as a Blub Blub, Jim?
Every day used to be easier, Brian.
Well, Jim, what are you drinking all this pain away and these memories away with tonight?
I don't have my jelly, but I have my Keystone. I had me some stones. I just needed something nice, easy. I've been, like, thrown off all day. This is the old man boomer segment where, like, I finally hit that age where daylight savings just fucks up my entire day. Even if you're supposed to get that extra hour, that just means my dog technically wakes me up an hour earlier, and I'm all goddamn thrown off. So, yeah, I've just been dragging all kinds of ass today. Like, the equilibrium's been off. I don't know. Maybe I'm having a stroke, too. I don't know what it is, but, the normal kind of crap you have when you have to slightly change your schedule. So, I just needed the warm embrace of an old friend, and that friend is Keystone.
I had the exact inverse. So we had the party Saturday, which going into Saturday night was the fallback. Excuse me, which I look forward to very much because I think most people left around 12-ish, maybe 1-ish. I forget what time it was. It was late. It was around 12. So I didn't really get to bed till 1 or 2, but then it rolled back. I had to get up early anyway, cook the kiddos breakfast, have football game. So I needed that extra hour, and it made a big difference. Now, what I will say is being outside during the daytime, it really does suck now at 5. It's just dark. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's the shitty part about this. But you live and you learn. Speaking of Saturday, though, I got for the party a variety pack from New Belgium, and honestly, my experience with New Belgium has really been limited to, like, Fat Tire and some of their more well-knowns. So it was a variety pack, and the first one I'm trying is called Mountain Time.
I think I've had that before.
Yeah, it's just a lager, 4.4%. It is fucking, water light, I'm going to call it. Like, I don't even want to call it gold. It's like piss yellow almost, but it's crystal clear. 4.4%, so it is so light. There's virtually, I can't really get a good angle on this. There's almost no head, tiniest bit of lacing. it smells like a regular ass lager. And Jim and I have said it many times. Most craft breweries aren't going to really go out of their way to make a lager. I can kind of see why. Like, like it's a simple style, which is apparently harder to brew for probably not the biggest return on flavor and taste, but it goes down really smooth, and I don't hate it. It's just not one I'll probably ever go back to again.
One Piswasser.
Damn it, Jim. It's not Piswasser.
Yeah, Piswasser. But yeah, I mean, New Belgium, you also know them from the Voodoo Ranger line and all that stuff. So they're out there. They're kind of everywhere when it comes to the craft scene at this point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. But Chambers. So Halloween's done. You've managed to already have to put up your goddamn Christmas stuff, which is, it's just a sin. It's really what it is. It's a sickness.
Right. As I told you on Saturday. On Saturday, November the 1st, I both put up a Christmas tree and went to a Halloween party. So how's that for fucked up?
That's why you got the jelly.
The second, tree was decorated, and as of today, the third, upstairs is pretty much, a lot of tubs have been opened. The wife has been she's been going to town.
Did you already light the tree? Did you actually plug it in already?
It's pre-lit, Brian.
Jim, such a sin. Such a sin. You're worse than people who have Mariah Carey on November 1st.
We even have a little wand that my daughter can wave at the tree to turn on the light. It's magical. Making memories, Brian.
Chambers. Well, even though it's been an ass-busy weekend for you, going from Halloween to Christmas, and we were obviously together on Halloween, did some trick-or-treating, how have you been able to get with any gaming this past week, if any?
Almost none. Like you said, like getting ready for Halloween, besides normal kid shit during the week, like we had Halloween parties Friday, Halloween parties Saturday, had birthday parties on Sunday, just nonstop. So, like the littlest bit of Max Payne is what I got in. That's about it, really. Continuing my trek through it. Oh, actually, I can mention that as I was over your house really quick to drop off some, or actually, your wife was able to help my daughter with her. She was roomy like every other freaking girl this year from K-pop Demon Hunters. So your wife is very good with the hair and the braids and all that stuff. So gave her the whole roomy braid thing. While you were doing that, you let me try out Black Myth Wukong, which I meant to get around to this year. Never got around to it. And after spending all of 5 to 10 minutes with it, yeah, I don't regret not getting around to it, I can say. It's just like, it's like you've been saying. It's so weirdly clunky. And like I have not had the most experience in the world with Souls games, but I find them to be a tough yet very fluid combat experience, where they run at the 60 frames very steadily. I've never almost experienced any slowdown of any sort. It's a smooth playing little girl. This was just like weirdly stuttery. It's a PS5 game. It's not super graphically intensive. I mean, it's on Steam and all that crap too first. But I don't know how it runs on PC, but at least on the PS5 version, I don't know if it's like a variable frame rate or if it like is locked into like a weird 45 frames per second or something like that, or it's smoother than 30 but not as smooth as 60, so you're just in this weird space the entire time that I can't put my finger on. And it's like kind of unsettling. Like, I don't feel like it was, like, cheating me out of combat or I was losing because of that, because obviously I just started playing, so I was going to be good anyway. But, yeah, it's like you're fighting with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of Black Myth, I did go back very, very minor amount. I started fucking with it again. But as I told Jim, like, I hit a wall with this third stage. And it's just, there's something very unappealing about the stage I'm in. I don't know if it's just, I don't know what it is, but I'm starting to hit a wall. Like, I really want to push through and just get it done. But what's taken up a lot of my time, and it came out of nowhere, was Power Wash Simulator 2. I played the first one, liked it. I was just at a point where I was like, you know what? I need a good game I'm just going to relax to. I started fucking with that, and that game is just pure, it's pure relaxation. Drinking a beer, just chilling, have music or a podcast on most of the time, so it's not like I'm sitting there listening to it, obviously. But it's funny because my son came down, saw me playing it. He's like, "Hey, what's that?" I tell him. He's like, his own words. He's like, "That looks really relaxing. I might try it too." And then he started playing Power Wash Simulator 1 upstairs. So I was just like, okay, yeah. So been playing that. That's going to be my go-to kind of chill-out game.
Bryce, should have told him that's a game you can play outside. Get the fucking work. That's
kind of why I'm letting him find it fun. Because, yeah, come summertime, he'll be power washing outside for real. But I did download Max Payne today. So I'll be starting that up because as of the time you're seeing this, we've already released X-Men 2 Clone Wars, the review. So once again, I believe it was JD Maines. Thank you for that request. We were able to get through. It's not a spoiler because you could have already seen our review, but man, talk about a game I'm pissed I missed as a kid, considering how much I loved X-Men.
Same.
And yes, we had the nostalgia of the first X-Men game, but that game, you take off the rose-tinted glasses, it's rough. But that second game, man, it's so much better.
Oh, yeah, no, the second game is actually like a quality game, whereas the first one's just, it's kind of a shit pile, which sucks to say for our nostalgia, but yeah, it kind of sucks. But yeah, no, I mean, it's legitimately good. Had little issues here and there with it, but it's like leaps and bounds of an improvement. But like I said, go check the review if you haven't seen it yet. Maybe it'll convince you to give it a go. Oh, right. Yeah. Speaking of goes, have you put any more time into Astrobot since I was over? For Astro's Playroom?
I have not. God damn it.
So cute.
So I didn't realize Jim was coming over when his daughter was getting her hair done by my wife. And he came in as I'm playing Power Wash Simulator, and I'm still playing, and I'm like,
thank God his pants were up.
I was like, Jim, I want to show him Black Myth Wukong. He died promptly after maybe 6 minutes, maybe 7, 6, 7. Who knows?
The amount of times that Brian's son will come up to you and say 6, 7.
Uh-huh.
I saw him
it's all kids.
2.5 days in a row. It was endless.
It's a thing. It's a very annoying thing. But I said, hey, Jim, do you want to play Astro's? Is that Playroom or which one is that?
Yeah.
So Jim's like, yeah. And all I kept hearing is, it's so goddamn cute. Look how adorable. Look at the colors. Look how cute it is. So cute. Just cute and adorable is all that Jim's vernacular was for the entire time he's playing. He missed a lot of coins. He fucked up a whole bunch.
It's been a while since I played the goddamn game. All right? Had to get acclimated.
But as Jim's playing, he's like, man, when I first played it, I got through it in like 2 hours. Why does this seem like this is so much tougher?
I was having me some troubles, okay?
But yeah, no, I did not touch that again. I said I don't dislike it. It's, you know what it is? It's almost too simplistic.
Brian just hates joy. That's the problem. He hates happiness. He hates joy. Just wants to wash his goddamn driveway. It's all he wants to do.
Jim, some of us didn't have jelly, all right?
Use some more jelly. That game is pure jelly. Oh, my God.
Well, we got enough joy from JD because of X-Men 2, and as I said, I downloaded Max Payne. So, honestly, I'll probably bang that out and Power Wash before finishing Black Myth, because as I said, I'm dedicated. We're going to clean up all the reviews, get them all out, and we're doing them because, once again, is that our final review we have right now for Patreon?
Yes, for games. We have 2 movies we have to do still for the bonus episodes. The ultimate thing that we have let slip this year. But,
yes.
Yep, we got to get... I mean, our good old buddy Nikki over at the N Squared podcast, he's been really doing a hard push this year with his own content. So, it's been a little tough. Yep. We're going to get back with the boy and get the gang together, do some movie reviews as we have been requested over at patreon.com/drinkabeerandplayagame, where for as little as $2 a month, you can ask a question that we will answer on each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. All the P's, really, the popcorn, sending the pops.
Damn it.
First up, speaking of JD Maines, does beer in a can taste different than the same beer in a glass bottle? I understand that it's always better to put the beer into a glass, but for those occasions where it's just not practical, is it worth it to pay a smidge more for a glass bottle?
Yes, there is definitely a taste difference. The best thing you should and can do, you should always pour your beer into a glass. Let me put it this way. There are some beers that you actually will see on the can that says drink from the can. That's more to do with like their freshness and everything. Because they don't, a lot of like IPAs and things don't actually want you like saving them. They want you to drink them as fresh as possible. Because you've heard Jim and I talk about it. You end up with crumblies and all kinds of other shit when you let cans or anything really sit too long.
Bread.
Yes, very bread. Glass bottles, I would say, yes, there's a difference, but I don't think it's one that's large. There are certain beers I only associate with bottles, like Corona. I know they do sell cans, but I think it would be really weird to drink it out of anything but a bottle. Miller High Life. That's a bottle. Like, yes, you can get it in cans, but when I think of that, I think of bottles. So, to answer your question, does it matter between getting a can and when it comes in a glass bottle? Probably not the most. But in either situation, you should be pouring it into an actual glass. Just so it aerates, it gets, it breaks down the flavor a little bit. The head that I've slowly started teaching Jim about the slow pour finally after many years, it makes a difference in how the beer tastes. Jim's like, you got to do it at the angle and really slow.
So, I'll go a step further, and I'll say most macros, I will say, I think are just better out of a can, though. Like, craft beer, like, obviously a lot of them come canned, but if you can find them in a bottle, that's actually weird. Most craft doesn't come in a bottle because I guess it's way cheaper, so they don't want to spend the money on it. So, yeah, you're kind of forced into the can situation there. Except for, like, Trogs, which will go that extra mile. They'll put it in the bottle, and it always tastes better from a bottle from them, I'll say. But, like, Coors, Corona is going to taste like shit either way. But, like, Coors, Miller, Bud, I almost always prefer any of them in a can over a straight bottle. Now, from a tap at a bar, I think is better than a can. But, yeah, for whatever reason, they just always... Maybe it's the macroiness of them and like how mass-produced and how they just get shipped everywhere. They always just taste stale and skunked in a bottle. Sure, most places probably aren't like, doing the proper storing and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, I think if you're going to buy some cheap slop, just get it in a can anyway. Don't try to overthink it. But if you can ever find a craft in a bottle, go for the bottle in that case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good question, JD. I like it. I always encourage people, though, try them each way. See which way you like the best.
No, just do it my way.
No, Jim's always wrong.
Next up from Todd Howard Sucks. What is your favorite Halloween costume you have ever worn?
Ooh, shit.
All right, while you think. So, this one, easy. Circa 2012, 2013. My girlfriend at the time, now my dear, sweet, loving wife, the ultimate trooper. We had an obsession with the Human Centipede movies, especially 2. So, what do? We dressed up as the Human Centipede. So, I was the doctor. Actually, I was the little fat, like, creepy guy who really loved the movies from 2. And then my wife was A, and we duct taped 2 inflatable midget sex dolls onto her butt. So, we used duct tape, wrapped them around there, then wrapped one around the other doll, and it's amazing. We've never topped it. It's not been topped. We'll never top that. We even have a picture of it on a high shelf in one of our rooms in the house, just because of how much we love that photo. It's amazing. And also to speak of how much of a trooper she is, before we went to Brian's house for that Halloween party that year, I had a party at a coworker's house. So at least at Brian's house, she knew everybody. So we go to my coworker's house first, and she shows up there with, a flesh-colored tank top because, they were all topless, basically. And then she's duct taping sex dolls to herself and meeting all these people for the first time. So, yes, she is a trooper, to say the least.
Yep, I do remember that party. That may be one of my favorite costumes. So I was going to go with the one where I finally found the mask of Radu, which is from Subspecies. It's you can't see it from his camera angle, but I'm sure in past other videos, it's the really creepy vampire mask behind me, and I got the full like outfit, the hands. That was cool. But as far as ones that I actually built from the ground up, that same party that Jim is referencing, I built a Bane costume based on Dark Knight Rises, and I actually made it with literal like parts of some of my old hockey equipment. I made the hose things out of like straws. Like I put effort into this son of a bitch. And it turned out pretty damn good. So just for how much effort I put into it, for someone who's so into Halloween, I tend to just be like, I'll just wear whatever as a costume. Like I'll be Ghostface, Michael Myers, Jason, like something simple. I don't go all out on the costumes. That time, I did. So I think I really like that one.
Yeah, I do remember that one. That was a good one. Yeah,
that was also when I had my shaved head. So yeah.
Oh, Nazi Brian doing the good old Bane look.
Damn it, Jim.
Nailed it perfectly.
Jim, do the hand.
I don't know what you're talking about. I just give high fives to people. I don't know what you're talking about. Next up from Burned Retinas. What is something that you feel everyone else has done that you have yet to try?
Something that everyone else has done that I've yet to try. For me, well, not something I want to try, but never smoke cigarettes or weed. Weed, I would be more inclined to. Cigarettes, no. I will never, have never. But I feel like most people have done that. So, weed, I would try. Cigarettes, no.
A girl from the drives?
I was going to say, Jim, what haven't you tried? But that is probably the one
that's tough for me. Somehow I've always had
all kinds of tastes and things.
I was a dabbler in my old days, all right? But, yeah, no, I'm trying to actually think of something that most people do.
Get things right?
It's the first time for everything. But, yeah, like, I mean, even simple shit like rollerblading, but I did that, like, once and fell on my ass and never did it again. Like, there's a lot of shit that, like, a lot of people do that I was never good at, which is probably most things. But as far as not trying things, like skydiving, I've never skydove. I've bungee jumped.
Yeah. Jim,
riding a motorcycle, never did that.
Have you ever actually been in a fight?
I mean, when I was in, like, grade school. I haven't been in, like, a fight in 20-some, 30 years, probably.
Well, that was you just getting beat up. There's a difference.
I held my own back then.
What was he, 4 grades younger than you?
Fucking, what else have I not done? Like, I don't know, had, like, a healthy BMI. I don't think I've ever had that, so... No, I'm struggling on this one.
Oh, Jim. I think there's something there for you. Beating a Souls game?
I have not beaten a Souls game. That is true. Could keep it in the realm of gaming. I don't know. I've always, again, I'm a dabbler, Brian. I've at least played like one game in most series, I want to say.
Never gotten yourself a Battle Royale victory in any kind of Battle Royale game? I
have my win in Tetris 99. Thank you very much.
a real Battle Royale.
That is a real Battle Royale game.
Nah, that don't count.
And I've been on teams that got the chicken dinner, so I don't need 1v1s.
I'm talking solo.
I'm a team player guy. I'll need to have that.
You're the guy. You got the windows. I know.
I'll need the gratification like you need. All right.
You don't need gratification when you're just good.
Nah, sure. But yeah, I don't know. Nah, it's a tough one for me.
Okay.
I mentioned off a lot of things, a lot of little ones. So.
Good question, though. I like that.
Yep. Next up, from Alex Perez. I'm wondering what the stress level for you guys are during the holidays with regards to putting up decorations. I didn't vet this one beforehand. I was at peak decorating for fall, Halloween, and Christmas 5 or so years ago, but started to become kind of a chore. I kept filling more and more containers in the garage with decorations, and it took longer and longer to put them up every holiday. In the years since, I've really started to pare back. What used to take days or decorate for Halloween or Christmas now takes me a night, and I think I'm a good place now stress-wise. I guess my wife is happier too. She may be the worst, but I love her. She has eyes on this, by the way, so she knows I'm only joking, and she also knows that Jim is an absolute dirty-ass pervert of a human being.
Yep. All true statements.
Yeah, I can't argue a lot of those, can I? Fuck, even my wife listens to the Crusty Corner and goes, really?
She knew who she married. Let's not be coy about any of this.
It's true. If anything, I've calmed down.
Jim, you just have to beat off all the women.
Just off with the stick. Oh, Jimmy beat off.
But no, so I'll answer from my perspective. So obviously, I've always been obsessed. I actually over decorate for both holidays. I go way crazier for Halloween. Part of why I've maintained that is because I'm on this like list of where we live, like homes to come by, and it is cool. People have pulled up. People have asked, "Can we get out, like do videos of it?" And my kids are obsessed with it. Like driving by my house, they're like, "Oh man, like that's so cool." Christmas, I tend to not decorate as much as I used to, just because by the time it's like when normal humans decorate, it's too cold out there. And I don't feel like getting out on a ladder, or like trying to string up the house and all that. Like, it's too much effort at that point. So I definitely pared back outside, but inside I go all out for Christmas. Like, I still do like Christmas villages. I do lights around all the archways. It's a giant pain in my ass. But once again, if I didn't have my kids, I don't think I would go anywhere near as much as that. But they love it, and it's something like my parents definitely decorate a lot, so I want my kids to have that too. But yeah, it's a giant pain in the ass, Alex. So I do look forward to the day I can pare it back. That day is not going to be today. I don't know when it's going to be, but yeah, we're here.
Yeah, my wife is definitely the bigger decorator. Oh, God.
Bless you.
Ah, thank you. So, yeah, my wife is definitely the bigger decorator by far between the two of us. So, my jobs when it comes to decorating, I'm the one who gets to go into the crawl space in our half attic and get everything up and put everything down. And then I also take care of the outside. So I'll do that stuff. I go harder on the outside on Christmas than I do on Halloween. But every year, much like Alex is talking about, there's just more and more because there's clearances. And when there's clearances, you have to get new things. So, every year there's another tub that gets bought at Walmart, at least 1 or 2 tubs, and, they get filled. They get filled with new crap, some old stuff breaks. So, of course, when you break one thing, you have to buy 3 new things. That's just how the ratio works. That's how it goes. So, yeah, no, I mean, she goes very hard. Like, just today so here's a level of detail she goes with Christmas. She covers our cabinets in the kitchen with our ribbons to make them look like presents on the door. So I was with her, helping her make sure that she lined them up, centered them all perfectly and all that kind of stuff. Like, she goes pretty ham on everything. So I'm sure we'll get the Christmas balls out soon and have to hang them from the curtains and all that crap. Luckily, we decided to hang up like LED changing lights outside, so I can just change the color scheme on those, and I don't have to go up once a season and put up the icicle lights and crap like that anymore. So at least I've saved myself that. But yes, inside is already coming along with Christmas, as we discussed. Outside I'll do after Thanksgiving, but yeah, it's a thing for us too.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I think most people, you're like, fuck, I gotta do that. When it's done, you do enjoy looking at it. But as I did today, like, I spent all day taking down Halloween stuff. And the takedown sucks too. Like, you're just like, oh God, it's just a thing. So yeah, I always caution people, just, if you're not that into it, don't start a thing you can't stick with.
At least you have a garage to put shit in and not a fucking crawl space. My God. Like, when we bought this house, I was like, we got this crawl space, we got this attic. Look at all this space for storage we got out the ass. Not realizing at the time just how much of a pain in the ass it is to get stuff in and out of there.
I will agree. That is a good point, Jim. So,
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for the support.
Jim, just do what I keep telling you. Learn to say no.
But what's that word?
That's the thing you can do, Jim. Remember you said what's something people do that you can learn? You can learn to say no.
Oh, yeah. I guess I could start doing that. I'm almost 40. It's too late now.
Damn it, Jim. But yeah, I like that question. Alex, good luck with the rest of the decorating if you're not already done for Christmas, because you're probably not a psycho like Jim. So good luck.
I'm not the one pushing for this, but I'm also not the one stopping it. I'm powerless. I'm outnumbered, I'm outgunned, I'm powerless. It's all over.
Damn it, Jim.
The dream is dead. But, you know it's not dead, Brian? The support of our fans over on Patreon. So that wraps it up for this week. Thank you to everyone out there for all the support, as always. Check out all the different tiers, all the different requests, like movie review requests, bonus episodes, bonus podcasts, game review requests, like X-Men 2, The Clone Wars, all that good stuff. Also, whether you are listening on iTunes, YouTube, or Podbean, check us out. Leave some comments. Leave some subscribes. Hell, even share it with your friends. Spread the word. It could definitely help out the page.
Yeah. No, the guys, thank you. Continue to support them, which helps support us. And thank you. Get those questions in, guys.
Yep. And also, while you're doing that, maybe you can fill up your game collections while you're doing that. While you're filling up your decorations, you can fill up some tubs with games. Why not do that? That's way more enjoyable. Head on over to ghettogamer.net. Use our code DBPG to get 20% off your first order, where you can go over there and you can find NES games, Super NES games, N64 games, controllers, consoles, accessories, all that kind of good stuff at great prices, way better than dealing with eBay, and it's got a good selection over there as well. And maybe if you want to find a way to decorate a little better, to store things a little better, maybe to make your decorations your own, head on over to Skillshare. That is the site where you can do all kinds of different online classes and use our code DBPG30 to get 30% off a year of one class. So you can finally learn something, you dumb sons of bitches, using DBPG30 over at Skillshare.
Damn it, Jim.
What?
Call them dumb sons of bitches. Damn it.
What? I was speaking as me to me, obviously. Not to the lovely people who listen to the show. I would never call these dumbasses that.
Be sure to yell at Jim in the comments. And when you do, we will read them. So please, give them hell. I love hearing that.
Yeah, I bring it on myself.
But Jim, speaking of comments, what is our comment of the week?
Yes, comment of the week, where we go and, as these pages do, we get comments, and sometimes these just stick out. And Brian, we have us a very topical comment this week. Comes to us from our video for Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which is like over a decade old at this point, that video.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing this since 2013. Still here.
Yep.
Still doing it. So, the comment comes from the user @ZShy. Here because of the new Mortal Kombat Fiasco. I grew up with the Genesis version before I switched to PlayStation. Shame about the collection stuff when you have such a good classic game. And, I mean, thank God Mortal Kombat's in the news, because that always helps out our Mortal Kombat videos we did. Unfortunately, it's for, like, the worst reason possible, because by all reports, this Legacy Collection is a goddamn disaster. It looked like such a home run on paper with all these different versions of the game, all these different ports, console-specific versions, all these extra stuff, a documentary, art books, everything else like that. And then they decide to, upscale, quote-unquote, the old art books and graphics with AI, and it looks like a sloppy mess. There's input lag, not just online, which is always a crime, but in the actual games themselves for reasons. Online released without a ladder system in 2025 for a shitload of old games that you didn't have to do that much work for. Holy crap, what a disaster.
Yeah, so when he wrote that, once again, being the guy, it's not usually online. I was like, what Fiasco? And then I started reading. I was like, oh, yeah, everything you're saying. The input lag is probably the most offensive. I know they're fixing the online, but to your point, to release a game and have the issues or not have the standard features you would expect, it's definitely problematic. And one thing I did read, Jim, which you and I have talked about, the other thing people are bitching about is they're saying the AI is cheap. Now, I think this is just a testament to younger, newer people. Yes, younger, newer people. They're like, it just seems cheap. It's clearly reading your inputs and like getting to you. I'm like, yeah, they never played. What this is younger generations who never played the original Mortal Kombat or original Street Fighter. Like, they didn't play that shit, so they didn't have to experience it. Yeah, those games were always cheap. That's not an issue of this collection. That was always a thing. You should have played in the arcades that would have whooped your ass, which were purposely meant to be cheap to eat more of your money. So that's not a design flaw of the collection. That's how the games were.
And like, it also depended on the version you played because some were cheaper than others. Like the Genesis version of Mortal Kombat 2 was goddamn impossible, even on very easy. Like, because that's one of those games that it read your inputs and it was always just fighting against you and knew what you were doing. So, like, the only way I ever beat that game was either spamming with Sub-Zero or Katana. Like, anything to stun enemies long enough to get hits in and just cheesing that the whole way through. Like, I mean, it wasn't as bad as, like, I think, like, the most infamous game for that of all time is, like, Fatal Fury 2 on the Neo Geo. Something like that. Like, a game that legitimately not only reads all your inputs, instantly counters them, but the characters that you go against also skip animations to hit you faster. So, like, I think, like, legitimately, like, 2 people have ever beaten that game, some kind of ridiculous craziness like that. So, it's not as hard as that, but it's up there. Like,
it's still pretty ridiculous, yeah.
Yeah, like, for some reason, the 32X version's way more playable than just the stock, Sega Genesis version. So, yeah. But back to your point, the games are fucking tough. Like, they're just tough and unfair.
I love a good collection. I can forgive the online shit because the fact they're even implementing it, cool. I know it's an expectation, but the input lag, all right, that would piss me off a pretty decent amount. Did you see the collection? And even though we probably have all, I know between you and I, we have all of them, but was there any part of you that sees that and goes, ooh, I kind of would like to have that all in one place?
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. Like, I was very interested in this collection, and I was just waiting to hear how it was. And it sucks. So, guess I'm not
sure
doing that.
They'll patch it. It'll be fine. It'll be like most things. It'll be a blip, and then in the future, when it's patched to shit, it'll be like, oh, yeah, there was what problems with it? It's a great collection.
I mean, maybe like the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, like the online of that, like always kind of sucked. Like it isn't as bad as this is, but it was always kind of weirdly choppy and a little laggy and shit. Like it all comes down to the net coding, and some people just really cheap out on it.
Well, I mean, that was a comment I definitely read, and I once again had to do my research. So thank you for the comment. As we always say, comment away. We may pick yours to talk about in the future. But yeah, Jim,
just real quick, one of my favorites from my other channel, Jim StarCraft Struggles, where one guy just went, "Man, you suck." I was like, "Well, that's the fucking point of the channel. It isn't called Jim's Good at StarCraft." Jimmy started every video with, "Hey, I'm an old guy who sucks at this game, trying to get into it." You fucking tell me I suck at it. Like I don't know that. Like I don't know that with my win-loss.
Are there any lies detected there, Jim?
No, there's not one lie detected. I know he's right.
Well, stop trying to claim you're good at it. But Jim, besides Mortal Kombat, I think it's safe to say the next topic was probably the hotter thing over the past week. Even though we're a little bit behind, it's not exactly a week. Halo is now in PlayStation. And we've talked, I don't know how many times, about exclusivity, Xbox just putting things out there. PlayStation did the same with a lot of shit coming to PC. There's always kind of like that, like, well, some things will probably always stay exclusive. And Xbox went, nope. I don't even think it's debatable. The flagship Microsoft game is now available for PlayStation. Wow. I mean, I can't even say I'm shocked, to be honest. Like, with how much Xbox has just made it clear, like, we're just going to get as much money as we can from everything. Their heart is not in the hardware sales. I don't know. Nothing shocks me. Maybe that's just the state of the world. I don't know. But I'm just, it's not that mind-boggling. If you would have said this to me 3-4 years ago, maybe. Now I'm just numb to it. I'm like, yeah, okay. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it. I hate saying this.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, that's the end of, there was a comment from Melee Games. It's like, well, the second console wars have officially ended in PlayStation 1, because it's just like, yeah, if Xbox doesn't have exclusives, why would you ever buy an Xbox at this point? They're trying to put Game Pass on everything, besides having a Game Pass player that's all in one without a PC, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. Mm-hmm. What's the point in doing anything with the Xbox brand? It's over. Microsoft doesn't care anymore. They're just going to be publishing games under the Xbox brand, slapping the license on whatever fucking overpriced hardware they can do it with. And, yeah, they'll, fucking PlayStation game through Xbox Studios. The Xbox game is now sleeping with the enemy. And even another thing I hate about it is just how fucking lazy this game is. Oh, boy. Another remaster of Combat Evolved. So it's called Halo Campaign Evolved. There's new graphics. Yay. There's they added more to it gameplay wise as far as the weapons go. So they're adding in the battle rifle, the needle rifle, the energy sword, the fuel rod cannon, the sentinel beam, and you can actually sprint in the game, which is like cool, but like, you know what? I'm not against that, because last time I played the first Halo was when the 10-year anniversary version came out, which was already like an HD update. So now we have another HD update and HD update. Hooray. And like when I'm playing through the campaign, I'm like, I mean, it's cool, but like it definitely is like a thing that's like, it was way cooler in 2001. Where like Halo Combat Evolved is a pretty simple game. So, like, adding this stuff in, it'll add to the fun factor. Even though the level design in the first Halo, I think, is kind of boring. Because you spend the last half of the game in the same 2 goddamn library-looking areas. But that aside, there's no multiplayer. You're going to have co-op. You can have a little bit of online co-op and, like, only couch co-op. But there's no online multiplayer in a Halo game. The fuck? And, now, Nick DiOrio said it best. He's like, well, if you're not going to have the multiplayer, then just do it with all the first 3 games and fucking release it as one. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, there's no need for this to be its own standalone title. It'll be interesting to see what the price is. If it's $70, I'll shit myself, and it probably will be, so. And I shit myself all the time anyway. So that's not a big deal. But, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a cool reboot-ish introduction. But, like, it's like an introduction for PlayStation players. Most PlayStation people over the years who aren't like, Gen Z or Gen Alpha have probably played Halo at this point. So it's the fucking point. Besides like a soft reboot, soft launch, money grab, anything. It's all of it.
Yeah, but this is that weird thing, right? Xbox, Microsoft, are they losing because they're still getting money from it? Like, they don't care about the console itself as a thing, as we're going to talk about very, very soon. It's not a thing anymore. And as much as you may hate it, as a company, they're going to be like, we want as many people to play our game. So they're still raking in the money. Just like every person who buys Call of Duty for PlayStation, you are giving to Microsoft. They own it. Like, that's the part that I think people disconnect. They're still going to be like, but the console, that's what's important. And Microsoft's like, yeah, no, that's not what's important anymore. To your point, why would you want this? But think about it, because PlayStation also how angry were PlayStation fanboys when like God of War came to Steam?
Oh,
And that was their exclusive, and all the
completely.
other like PlayStation, Last of Us, all that shit, like furious. Well, this is where it becomes interesting to me because, also speaking of Xbox, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, Jim, because I just want to cover this.
Yeah.
But in an apparent potential leak of Xbox's next gen console, which may be rumored to be anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 in 2027. The notes, you'll see it here. I have the picture and all the details. High end and expensive, no paywalled multiplayer. So, okay. It's going to offer a console UI, but it's basically a Windows device, so AKA it's a PC. It's going to offer Steam and access to all Steam games, and it's backwards compatible with all Xbox games. So you're getting a PC with a disk drive that plays all your old Xbox games. The interesting thing I think about this is if it does have access to Steam, then you are going to play God of War and all the PlayStation games on your Xbox now. So to your point, the exclusivity thing, why would anyone buy this? What I've said to you before is if you can somehow find a way to cheapen a PC that has Steam capabilities but still offers some level of home console experience, this may be the way. Do I like the idea of a console being $1,000 to $1,500? No. But you and I put out good money for our PCs and know how expensive that is. And let's be honest, no matter how much you future-proof it, if we really want to keep playing the most modern, crazy games, you're going to have to keep upgrading it. So, if any of this is true, we don't know if any of this is true. Let me just be very clear. And like I said, it comes to us from MBG, and you're seeing the full picture as we're seeing it. That would be very interesting to me because this even weakens the whole console war idea anyway, because now you're trying to bridge the market between PC gamers and true console gamers, right? And who cares if Halo can be played on PlayStation if now all the PlayStation games are coming to Steam and now you can play all your Steam games on your Xbox? Like, the lines are just so fucking blurred anymore that it's just like, okay, I don't know what all this means. But the no paywalled multiplayer, I don't know if that would actually be true.
Yeah, I mean,
know.
at that point, like, are you just getting free Game Pass then with it? I don't know how you say no paywall multiplayer if...
That's the part I don't like. So maybe they're getting rid of the model of paying for multiplayer. Like online services are just going to be a thing. If you pay that much for a console, I guess that is a nice little gimme, if you want to call it that. I'm sure Game Pass and access to games will still be a paid service. But I guess now, instead of needing, like before, it used to be, remember, like the gold membership. I guess that's just
Gold
not
and silver,
a thing you
yeah.
need. Yeah. So maybe you just can play online multiplayer with the games you have, and you don't need to pay for that service if you don't feel like having Game Pass.
Unless you're just getting the lowest version of Game Pass for free, which...
Basically. Oh, it's okay. It's a... I mean...
Which wouldn't be bad. Like, I'd be fine with that.
And if it truly is able to access Steam and all your Steam games, okay. And if it's backwards compatible with all Xbox games, I hate to say it. I still don't know about the price point, but I think $1,000 minimum for all that. I don't know if that's the worst. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, you can buy a mid-range gaming PC now for $1,000 to $1,500 that can do everything that this thing's already saying it's going to do. And, I mean, that looks like a very small, very slim, case design. So I'm sure upgrading it or changing anything will be a bitch and a half where you're not going to have that kind of freedom you would with any normal, gaming PC you would buy at that point. Because everything else that it's saying on there, like, You can buy any $1,500 rig with interchangeable parts, be able to upgrade as you go along, and you still get Steam and Game Pass like you would on this. I'm very confused.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, though, most gamers don't want... They still want a console that in your living room you can hook up to your TV and you don't need a PC setup. And that if you have something that's capable of playing all the games you like, the modern games you like, and then you also want to add in the capabilities of doing Steam and all your previous Xbox games, it's an option.
That just runs off Windows. Like, it's not a console, though, anymore.
No, it's touted and marketed as still a console in the sense that you're not going to bring your tower, your custom PC fucking monster tower up to your living room and hook that up to your TV. You know, like, it's still a console in the sense that I bet the UI is still going to look like Xbox, even if it's running off a Windows device. They'll figure out a way to make it look like regular Xbox. It'll just be disguised as a Xbox.
Oh, good. That terrible Xbox user interface will be the front and center of a PC.
Hey, the 360 was still the best one.
Yeah, Brian, that was like fucking ages ago, and it has been downhill ever since. We all love the tiles. The tiles are long gone, Brian. It's been like 15 years since we had the tiles. All
Listen,
right?
I don't have an issue with the latest one.
I don't like
Logan's fine with it. It's better than PlayStation. I'm going to say that. As someone who now has played a lot more PlayStation,
both
Xbox
UIs are terrible. No, both are terrible.
Yeah. And Nintendo is still in the Stone Age. So that's what I'm saying. If you want,
they are, but at least they make a fucking console with exclusives for as shitty as they are.
I know. Listen,
at a reasonable price.
I bring this up just because this is what would make me go, okay, I see Xbox's endgame. Like, they're not going to try to win the console sales war. So get your game out to everywhere. And now if they do have this deal with streaming Steam games off their quote-unquote console, then they're basically getting all the exclusives from PlayStation at that point too. Or as many that are on there. All the big names is my point. So, I don't know. I like the idea if it truly is still backwards compatible with all Xbox games. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even see a disc drive on it, so I'm just going to assume it's all digital. So,
well,
I mean,
also,
just because
what
it's
we're
backwards
looking
compatible, like, if I can shove any old original Xbox disc in there, and there's a disc drive, cool. Like, you know, that is a selling point. But if not, then it's just like, oh, you're just going to make me rebuy my old games and play it through an emulator.
Well, I will say Xbox, I believe, is the ones that are better about you can reclaim your discs as digital.
Oh, yeah, they are way better, and like they give you the free upscaling and shit like that. I won't take that away. They are very much better than PlayStation when it comes to that.
So, I just brought that up just because we were just talking about Xbox doing all this crazy shit. It's rumored. I'd say take all this with a huge grain of salt. Who knows what's actually going to happen? But with all this that's been talked about, I don't know this next one, Jim. Explain it. That fucking Matt Booty. What was one of his reasons that Xbox exclusive games are going to PS5?
So, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty reveals that part of the reason that Xbox exclusive games are going to PS5 is, quote unquote, our biggest competition isn't another console. We are competing more and more with everything from TikTok to movies. So, this comes to us from a New York Times article. I strongly suggest, if you want to read this article, you click the link below to a tweet, and then click the article through the tweet, because then you can read the article without having to sign up for fucking the New York Times and paying them. So, it's a long-winded article that kind of starts with, like everyone else in the world, where you're kind of shocked to see Halo coming over to PlayStation, kind of the state of Xbox, the fact that the Series XS has been a disappointment, only selling about 30 million units compared to the 80 million units of the PS5. I'm kind of shocked that the Series has even sold that many units, to be honest with you. But yes, Later on in the article, it comes to say, when it comes to consoles, Xbox has always been the bridesmaid and never the bride. They just haven't been able to outmaneuver PlayStation and Nintendo, which they did for a little bit, and then they had the absolute worst game presentation of all time in 2013, and they never recovered. That's my little blurb to throw in on that. But yes, we get to the Booty Man. He says that Booty said that customers no longer have a strong attachment to the actual devices they use to play games. That sounds like some fancy cope right there, where he goes on to say about competing from TikTok to movies. And he says, but there are signs the strategy is working. Between April and July, 6 of the top 10 best-selling games on Sony's consoles were Microsoft properties. Near the top was Forza Horizon 5, 4 years after it was initially released on Xbox consoles. Microsoft declined to provide PS5 sales figures for Forza and Gears of War Reloaded, a remake that released in August. Sony did not respond to a request for comment. But yes, by releasing the first Halo and Gears of War on PS5 decades later, Microsoft is introducing lucrative franchises to loyal Sony gamers. Like we've been talking about, basically. And there's going to be Microsoft will bring Gears of War E-Day, which has a 2026 release date, and Halo Infinite's eventual follow-up for the PS5. So, and yes, any full-price sales on Sony's consoles would be particularly important for Microsoft. So, yeah, like we're saying, between Microsoft and then it goes on to talk about all their layoffs and all the monies that they've sold, and then the history of Halo, blah, all the shit that we've talked about 1,000 times before. But to the point, I mean, they're going to make their money off doing this, and if 6 of the top 10 Sony sales-wise games are fucking Microsoft properties, it might not be a bad strategy if your hardware is just a loss leader anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. It's like you said, does it kill competition? I don't know, but will it net them enough sales to keep going? Maybe. We'll see. Well, in a couple years, it'll either be like, oh, that's something that worked out for them, or yeah, that was clearly the downfall. Who knows? But Jim, really, how could they be doing wrong when you got the White House and ICE now using Halo, just like we've talked about many times? These accounts that, they've been interesting. ICE and some of these things. We've talked about using Theo Vaughn. We've talked about using Pokemon. Halo is the latest to join the ranks of memes, and this is where we're at, Jim.
This is so fucking gay. All right, look, here's the thing. This is the litmus test for how much of a team guy someone is, because let's go back in time. Let's go back in time to the delightful summer of 2016 when Pokemon Go came out. And during that time was a presidential race between one Donald J. Trump and one Hillary Clinton. And at one point, Hillary said, everyone should Pokemon Go to the polls. That has been memed. That has been mocked. That was a terrible, terrible line that no one ever forgot. To me, I don't see this as any fucking different. And the worst part of this for me is seeing the people who, if the roles were reversed on who was doing this, like people like the fucking quartering, who's like, oh, fucking, they do epic thing, liberals epically owned. And then you say, oh, I thought you were the keep politics out of gaming guys. And then, of course, the team guys go, oh, you don't get the nuance of the discussion, blah, 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 because they're going to go with the semantics of, they're talking about putting politics, forcing them into a game and not just politicians using it. If fucking Biden's team did this, you would have been having a fucking meltdown. So I see this dumb shit and I just shake my fucking head, but the lapdogs are lapping it up and the people are going to hate it or hating it anyway. But yeah, I just can't believe anyone looks at this and just goes, oh yeah, fucking lay epic. Like, fuck you.
And the pictures are there. But if you're listening on audio, the one is the Halo when they're on the Warthog and it says destroy the flood, join ice.gov. And the other one is Donald Trump and the Master Chief holding the what's that sword called?
Plasma sword.
It says power to the players. I'm trying to, though, find the actual I'm trying to find the actual like tweet with that, and I can't. So I don't know when it was done.
Like a week ago, something like that. At this point, they tweet a lot from these fucking accounts. They are
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's just I didn't go back far enough. We said with the Pokemon thing with Theo Von, listen, they're hitting some kind of mark there. Maybe the point is to piss people off more than it is for people to actually think it's cool. I don't know, but I'm still just shocked that like I haven't heard anything about Nintendo forcing them to take that shit down. Like,
I mean, when they did the Pokemon theme song with the ice video, I forget whatever came from that. I got to look into that.
Yeah, but yeah, this is still a thing. It's going on, and Jim, as much as we love gaming,
stop appropriating my culture.
I was gonna say, like, that's we really are in the upside down, aren't we, Jim? I know you don't get that reference, but yeah, I think we're there.
What? Wait, like
you don't watch Stranger Things?
Oh no, I don't watch that dumb shit.
Yeah, you don't watch good stuff. You only watch bad stuff and eat your jelly.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, I can still pretend that these are all 10-year-olds. All right, that's fine. Cool, great. I really give a fuck about the 80s. I'm going to start to pretend now. All right. Oh boy.
See?
Oh man, a Hall & Oates reference. How fucking cool. How fucking clever. Oh, he's playing Metallica.
Guy just hates fun. See? You talk about hating fun? Look at Jim. He just hates it all. He doesn't like modern stuff. He doesn't like the stuff he grew up with. He just hates it all.
And Brian just hates joy. If it wasn't horror themed, you wouldn't give a fuck about it. You wouldn't give two goddamn shits about it.
Jim,
the little,
it's sci-fi.
Dangle the little
it's
carrot,
actually sci-fi.
The little gay carrot.
I don't
think
you know
thingy.
the difference between sci-fi and horror, Jim.
Oh, I know the difference, Brian. I don't think you know the goddamn difference. No,
you don't know anything.
Shit about dick.
That's why you suck at StarCraft.
No, I don't. I suck at that because I have bad strategy and no reflexes at this point. All right. I like the power of the standard Korean. That's why I suck at StarCraft.
But Jim, let's talk about something we hold near and dear to our heart. And speaking of horror, Splatterhouse. We went through, did all the games, even did Wenpaku Graffiti, and apparently, as of yesterday, this tweet from Video Game Esoterica, there was a lost NES game in the Splatterhouse franchise called Splatterworld, leaked out on 4chan of all places. It's a JRPG, and I have the tweet here, but I'm also going to put up the non-audio, but I'm going to put up some of the footage of the game. It's a JRPG. It's all in Japanese, so if you watch the full video from him, it sounds like people are already trying to start working on translations. But, Jim, you and I might not agree on many things. We're both obviously very big Splatterhouse fans, but both of us don't really like JRPGs. Watching that gameplay footage, ooh, like the as soon as I saw a new Splatterhouse game, I was like, I'm in. And I saw some of the opening, like how the movement was. I was like, okay, cool, weird top down. And then I realized it was JRPG, and I went, oh my. I'm sure the English version and the cleaned up version will get released in one way or another, legally or illegally or whatever the case is. I'll try it, but man, JRPGs are rough. And especially something like Splatterhouse. The appeal of Splatterhouse was simple, beat 'em up, gory, fun. I don't need a pause every 5 seconds to read a bunch of dialogue and then to do the bullshit JRPG and mechanics.
And how much is he going to say? Where's Jennifer? Where's Jennifer? Where's Jennifer? Like, I don't know. Yeah, so like I'm in the boat with you, and yeah, couple caveats to all this. Like Esoterica talks about in his video, like Nintendo. Nintendo Life had an article about it. Anyone who's basically talking about it, like, this has been a long rumored game that has been lost to time, never came out officially. It randomly on Halloween night got thrown up on 4chan, so there's still a slight chance that, it's something that someone just kind of threw together. But from everything that it looks like a goddamn Famicom game that would have come out. So,
Yeah.
And again, we're probably going to be like at least a year before someone has it translate. Actually, with fucking AI these days, you could probably get something close enough, quick enough, if you just put it into fucking ChatGPT and be like, hey, translate this game to English. So
Yeah.
I'm no AI whiz, but, I think we're probably a lot quicker to that than we would have been 5-10 years ago. But yeah, to your point, it's a JRPG. I'm not really dying to play it. I don't know what you can really get out of a JRPG of Splatterhouse. Maybe Namco thought the same thing, and that's why they never released it. So, I mean, neat idea. It's always kind of cool to expand on things, but yeah, you don't always need to reinvent the wheel too much.
Will you at least give it a try, do you think?
Once it's translated, I will. Like right now with, its moon language, like, I'm not going to waste my time with it, but, once it's translated, I'll give it a go. And also right now, like if you're thinking about doing it, it apparently only works on one single emulator. It's very much based around fucking like Mr. technology. So as people expand it more, I'm sure it'll get dumped to a more easily readable kind of ROM too.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I got super excited, and then there was an immediate crash realizing what it was and how it may not be real or at least not in a version that I can play. So we'll follow it for sure, and if it ever does come out and it's in English, maybe I'll stream it. We'll see.
And my sick fuck ass, I hate to say it, Bri. I hate to say it. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? You know what I'm going to say?
What?
If it gets a physical. If it gets a translated physical.
Of course you would. And you would give it to limited run, and they'll hold your money for a year, and then you won't get it, and there'll be something fucked up with it, and then you'll never play it. We know your sickness.
But then it'll sit on my shelf, and it could be with all the others. I have all the others, Brian. I even have the little handheld, Brian. I went out. I have it right here. It's staring at me. I have the LCD handheld, Brian. I love Splatterhouse. I can't not have the new one if it comes out. I have to do it, Brian.
You don't. You actually just...
to.
What did we just talk about you learning to say no? This goes to your wife and your obsession with things you're never going to play. Damn it,
I have
Jim.
it, Brian. For those
I'm
of you
gonna steal
listening to the audio version, I'm just petting the handheld right now.
I'm just going to steal it next time I'm over.
Don't you fucking dare.
And you'll never be the wiser.
I'll know. I will know things.
You don't know shit. But Chambers, you know what? Let's go from what I would say is a good thing to yet another good thing. Because we've been talking about this for quite a little while. Nintendo and their bullshit of we're going to slap patents, we're going to be Sue happy, we're going to fuck over the little guy, Jim. And Nintendo's anti-Pal World monster capture patent applications have been rejected. As in quotes from Hazardor Gaming, it's lacked an inventive step. So there's a link to GamesFray.com, which goes more into it about the Japan Patent Office rejecting Nintendo's application relevant to the Pal World dispute. It cites games like Ark as prior art after third-party submission. So, yeah, I just think this is good.
Yeah, so couple quick caveats here, because when this first got posted, people just started spracking off on Twitter going, oh, Nintendo lost the lawsuit, it's over, Pal World won. It's not that.
Yeah,
it is a loss for Nintendo, don't get me wrong, and it's a big one. So the decision called Office Action made by Patent Examiner of the Japan Patent Office less than 2 weeks ago cast serious doubt on the validity of 2 of Nintendo's 3 Japanese patents in suit. This is about pending application number blah, blah, blah. That is a sibling of one of the anti-Pal World monster capture patents and the parent of another. So, and it was rejected, like we said, because it lacked an inventive step, which is kind of awesome. They're like, well, you didn't really do anything. That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah.
And prior art preferences cited by JPO include various games that predate Nintendo's December 2021 priority date, among them Wild Cards Arc, Monster Hunter 4, Pocket Pairs, Craftopia, a Japanese browser game called Kantai Collection, and Pokemon Go. So, the direct impact is now that Nintendo now faces the choice between abandoning the embattled patent application or they trying to persuade the patent examiner based on a modified patent application with intended claims. And then it just goes blah, 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 blah. So they can either give it up or they can try again, which they will most likely do because they are a very petty company. And they have to do a lot more homework to try and make it look like that they really do have the patent. But once again, they filed this after all these other games that came out that kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they're just going to be burning a lot of money on this one. But hey, like we said, like basically the entire internet has said, one thing that we can all come together on as the internet, seemingly, is when Nintendo acts like dicks, everyone kind of rightfully shits on them. And, like, it's not like anyone even talks about Pal World anymore. Like, the only time anyone talks about it is because of the lawsuit. So, not to throw any shade at Pal World. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet, but people seem to like it, whatever. But, you know, this is one of those ones where it's like, it's the guy you got to cheer for. You know, like, what the fuck, Nintendo?
Yeah. They need to get knocked down a couple notches. So every little victory like this, you got to take for them. Like, knock your shit off. Fuck. It didn't hurt a single sale for you. You're fine. Shut up.
It didn't hurt a sale. It'll never hurt a sale. For the love of God, what are you doing? Stop being dicks.
But Jim, speaking of your favorite thing in the world, dicks, let's finish off on two of them. With your boy Carl Jobst.
I'm still not sure what the right way to say that is.
Yeah, and man, in something that, like the Undertaker waking up in a casket match, I thought this shit was dead, but the completionist who got himself a perm and decided to release a video finally talking about everything that was that a year ago at this point? It's been a
Brian, that's
long
been
time.
about 2 years ago now when it all happened.
It really was? I thought it was just about a year ago.
Nope, 2 years. That shocked me too. Because, yeah, you weren't... I did my solo episode when Gerard made his first return video. And, yeah, after that video, Carl Jobst immediately went, oh, this video is so full of bullshit, I will be responding. And respond he did. He responded.
At least he did it in a short amount of time, Jim.
Short, concise, and to the point, Brian. And when I mean short and concise, I mean 4 hours, 22 minutes, and 13 seconds of rebuttal. Wow.
And, man,
Brian, the important question. Brian, the important question.
Yeah.
Did you do your homework and did you watch the video?
I watched pieces, Jim. And thank God that Carl provided timestamps, which, by the way, let me just read these timestamps. Gerard's story is ridiculous. Gerard lies about not being able to donate money. Gerard admitted to theft by embezzlement. Gerard lies about covering up indie land expenses. Gerard lies about what I said. Gerard lies about me entertaining conspiracy theories. Gerard can't keep his story straight. Like, these are just the most ridiculous fucking timestamps. So I jumped around multiple times. I was like, all right, let me try to hear. And he just went point by point and was basically just like, here's me going after him on everything he said. And to make a 4-hour video on the completionist, his video was how long? It was not even
19 minutes, I believe.
On his newer video, it was still 19 minutes.
I think his return video was like 19 minutes. I'll look it up.
He was 45 minutes. The You Deserve Answers. It was 45 minutes.
So that's right. That's right. Yeah.
That wasn't long either. And in that video, completionist himself. Kind of, he claims he takes responsibility. He talks about his problems, and then there's a lot of like issues with Carl himself. He addresses false claims, talks about Mudahar and conspiracy, yada yada yada. Man, 4 hours for something that is such a... It was a thing 2 years ago. I hadn't heard the name completionist in forever. And to make something out of such a nothing burger, I'm like, are you that mad or are you that bored? That's what I can't really read. Because, most of Carl's videos are pretty long. Not most of them. I should say when he does... dive like he did one on Billy Mitchell on a lawsuit, which was almost 2 hours itself.
Oh, that was his rebuttal to after losing the lawsuit. And that was a dog dick terrible video. That was bad.
But I'm just like, okay. From my hopping around, I think we talked about this with Mudahar and him. I was just so amazed at how much they tried to do like investigative work on like looking into this shit. And that was one of the things completionists is like, at the end of the day, Carl and Mudahar, they're not accountants. They're not engineers. They're not investigative journalists. Like, they're just YouTubers. To me, there's something to that. Doesn't discount what they're saying as maybe being true or not. But my God, Jim, the amount of quote-unquote evidence and everything Carl went into this, what is your takeaway? Because I'm sure some sick part of you, if you didn't listen to all of it, you at least went through a solid 50, 60% of it.
Oh, Brian, I went through all 4 hours, 22 minutes, and 13 seconds of this video.
And you give me shit when I say, do you watch a great show like Stranger Things, but you dedicate a full 4.5 hours
Brian, this is
to
drama, this is intrigue, and this is homework. I'm doing this for the page. I'm doing this for the people. I'm the better man here, Brian. You're just wasting your time with Normie Slop. That's what you're doing. I'm doing stuff for the page. All right? So, yes, this was a very intense video that kind of jumped around topics. Eventually, he started attacking an accountant. He actually spent probably a good hour of this attacking a video made by an accountant YouTuber that Gerard referenced, saying this is a good video explaining it, and then basically saying that accountant's, for lack of a better word, retarded. So, and debunking his video. But, so, there were some legitimate things from this video that I was like, that's a very good point he's bringing up. So, the working with San Francisco, the University College or something of San Francisco for the dementia research, and where they donated the body of his mom and body parts. So during all the indie lands, they said they were working with UCFS as a partner in this. But in his video, he said that his bad experience with them basically saying, we can't use your mom's stuff, we gave our parts away for nothing, was the reason that they started the Open Hand Foundation. So it's like, okay, that's a good point. Very odd. The timeline for the donations, where he said, constantly in many videos that they spent years and never had a chance to get it the right way, to get their donation, where you could see exactly where the money's going to and all that stuff. I forget what it was called, like a limited donation, something like that. And then it's like, oh, well, after you get called out, you found someone within 2 weeks and you gave the money away instantly, when you couldn't do it for over 2 years at the very least. So, good point there. The fact that Gerard's like, I have a Google Doc below that shows my proof, but it didn't really show anything. It was kind of in a crappy Excel spreadsheet that didn't explain a lot. It left out a lot of donation sources like Twitch bits, like merchandise, like direct donations, all kinds of stuff. And it's almost showing nebulous numbers without showing all the numbers and where it all went. It also didn't show super chats and other stuff on the back end for how he would have split it up. And basically the fact that Indieland still probably overall made a profit because of all the sponsors that they had. Because, when you run a lot of charity things, you kind of run them. Like Gerard said that he had to pay out of his own money to run Indieland when it wasn't just donations. They also had a ton of sponsors for it, too. So it's like, wait, how are you spending all this money when you have these sponsors? There's no way that you didn't spend that money on running this shit. Mm-hmm. He also goes into how Gerard's claiming that, people sicked the IRS on him and he couldn't talk about it for 2 years because the IRS was under an investigation when they really weren't. They're under an audit from the Attorney General, which is what handles stuff in California, charitable donations. So they really weren't under a full-on investigation where they couldn't talk about anything. They were just kind of being, per se, audited, which isn't fun.
Yeah.
But it's not like the same level of like, oh my God, the IRS is investigating me. Also, at one point, Carl mentioned that the Open Hand Foundation, while still being under this audit, they weren't technically allowed to run events, but they still ran their golf tournament. So, petty Carl, he reported them to the DOJ. At one point, he called Gerard, which was my famous line, or my favorite line he said, he called me a dishonest bag of potatoes, which I thought was a very nice little dig at him. And yeah, it went into a lot of detail and a lot of debunking stuff where you look at it and you look at what he said and what he provided and you go, Carl's making a lot of good points here. So
Yeah.
here's my overall from it. He makes some good points. I'm no accountant. I'm no lawyer. Carl says his wife's an accountant, so, he probably has some kind of back end to know what he's talking about here, at least through her. But Carl better fucking be 1,000,000,000% sure that he is right on all of this. Because if he has anything wrong, he is opening himself up for a hell of a lawsuit. Because he didn't say allegedly. He didn't say I'm inferring, but I can't prove it. There's times he's like, in my opinion, he's doing this. Or he's saying, or this is outright fraud, outright lies, outright, storing money away, shit like that. So, like, he's going whole hog into this one. He admits, he's admitted already the Billy lawsuit was a huge loss and what he did wrong there. So, I mean, this could be his redemption arc if he's right, or it could be another colossal failure and him falling even further down the hole, which I don't really care either way. Either way, it's going to be entertaining for me. But, yeah. It was a hell of a video. You know what? I got to say, it kept me interested the entire time. I didn't sit through it 4 hours straight, but through a bunch of, drives to work and dog walks, it made for great background noise. I can say that.
Yeah, I mean, I said about the thing about Gerard, like, regardless, there was some fuckery. It seems like there was some fuckery with the whole thing. Gerard kind of admitted that things should have been handled differently. But to your point, Carl is going pretty ham on this shit. Ballsy move. He should just cover his ass by always saying alleged or throw something else out there. But, Jim, just diving into what I did and listening around, I just went, oh, this makes me so happy I don't worry about shit like this. Like, it's just such a level of, wow, this is insane. Like, the dude has been off for 2 years. I understand hitting a dude when he's, like, high up and still, like, making all the money, but the dude's already been down. He's not making videos. He's not making money. You called him out. I think everyone got the point. The guy wanted to come back and say something. I get he probably felt a certain way because he felt like he was called out in the video saying, like, none of this was true or whatever. But at what point do you just let a sleeping dog lie? Or, like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, Gerard, in a way, brought on himself because he decided to throw his little jabs in to Carl Muda, bringing up their recent controversies. So it's not like he just tried to defend himself and shit like that. He did a little attack, but you know what he did, Brian? You should be liking this. He pulled a you.
Oh, he snapped back.
Hit me. You hit me. I'm going to hit you 10 times harder.
But here's the deal. I think my problem is Carl he was the first hitter in all this. Like, granted, he was hitting somebody who did something fucked up. But you went out of your way. Like, I am a very big, if you leave me alone, yeah, I might, like, if somebody asked me a question about you, I'd be like, yeah, Jim, he's fucked up. But if you fuck with me, yeah, I'm going to come back really hard.
Hey, man.
I can respect that, but you can't be the first hitter and you knock the guy out And then it's like he wakes up later and it's like, yeah, fuck that guy. And then you're like, what'd you just say? And now I'm going to come back and like hit you again. Like, you already got the knockout for all intents and purposes. So, yeah. Like you, I don't care about either of these fucks. If Carl gets called out and some of this is proven, like, I don't know. It just seems silly to dive that hard into something so silly. Just my opinion.
And so it's actually funny seeing the reaction to this video. Very different between the comment sections and the general Twitter sphere, because Carl, ever since the Billy Mitchell thing, has a ton of haters. And you know what? Deservedly so.
Yeah.
You know what? He can say all he wants that, I'm sorry you felt that way. But no, you fucking misled people. Like, you knew why they were backing you. So, like, he's no saint at all. So everyone just immediately kind of just weighted it, and they're like, oh, he's just trying to dig up old drama for views and shit like that, which probably part of it too. But, I mean, Gerard threw some shots. He threw 4 hours of shots back. What are you going to do? And honestly, Carl needs a win. So if he believes in it hard enough, I guess this could be his win if he's proven right.
Yeah.
I mean, Gerard already said in his first response video 2 years ago, like, we're going to come after you and we're going to sue you, and that obviously never happened. So, I don't think we're talking about a bunch of saints here, like we've already said.
The real question is, let's see if there's an actual response from Gerard. Maybe that tells us some stuff too. I don't know. I find it's interesting, but I'm also kind of like, yeah, just move on, everyone. But that's just me. But Chambers, the real question for you is, how is your going back to your cheapy goddamn Keystone after you're betraying Hams?
It's an old friend. It's an old friend. It's always there for me, Brian. A good can of Keystone can do more for me than therapy ever can. All right?
That I can agree with. And I think my initial assessment of this stuff is spot on. It's fine. It goes down really smooth. Wouldn't be a terrible, like, if it was dirt cheap, I'd be like, yeah, it's not bad. But for what I expect out of New Belgium and for the price, like, yeah, no, I can't really recommend it. It's not, once again, it's not saying it's bad, but for a lager style, I don't know. Not my favorite, I'll say that. But with that, guys, we want to say thank you all so much for listening, for watching. Please make sure if you're listening on Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, you leave a 5-star rating. If you do, leave us a comment, especially about Jim and his jelly, and we will read it on each and every one of these Power Hour podcasts. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us some comments. With that, guys, we want to say have a good night and cheers.
Have a good night, everybody. And cheers.